when you share, they become willing to share. Like, well, if you're going to tell me your scars, I'll tell you mine. And then you know very, very quickly, do I want to work with this person or not? And oftentimes when you do that, you find that most founders are unfundable.
I love how you open the door for them to share and be more open as a result of you kind of showing your scars. Brilliant. I love that. I'm going to use that as one more layer when I'm speaking to founders.
A lot of people struggle to communicate because they were raised in families where communication wasn't valued, because one of the family members maybe grew up with a family that was not communicative, and so they then raised their kids to not be communicative, and now they're adults and they don't know what communication is, they don't know what expression is, they don't know how to share their feelings. And I was very fortunate to be raised in a family where it was like the thing you do. And my parents raised me to feel like, so what they specifically did every night when I was a kid, they'd, you know, take me, tuck me in bed, whatever. And they would say, look, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, I'm just going to sit here and listen, and I'm not going to judge you. Just let it all out. Just talk to me, you know. And that made me grow up to be an adult who has no fear of sharing how I feel and being, you know, and fearing being rejected by someone else for not caring or not wanting to hear it, because it seems like people want to know that it's safe to share their feelings. And I think there's a big problem in the world, especially with men of my generation, sharing their feelings and having them weaponized. So hopefully me as one individual can go a small way in making men feel a little bit more comfortable with sharing how they're feeling, because there's no reason why not.
As you were speaking, it reminded me of an investment that I made in this one particular company that actually belongs to a friend. And, you know, when it's a friend's company, it sometimes can add another layer of complication because of the friendship. However, I said, look, friends is friends, but I'm still going to do the same level of due diligence as I would do on anyone. The only advantage here is I know you as a person. But what I realized, and look, as a professional speaker, I'm on stage, I'm getting in front of people all the time. I have literally 2 minutes, if not less, maybe even seconds, to impress the people in the audience to think, yes, this guy makes sense, let me continue to listen to him, or he's just talking rubbish, let me go on my phone and I'm going to send some emails. So knowing him and knowing his story, when he came to me with the pitch deck, I literally tore it apart and I said, this is garbage. I said, you're not going to get any money with this. I said, why are you not going into your story, like the why? You know, it was more about the what and the how and the this and that. I said, boring, boring. Why are you doing this? What drove you to start this company and is wanting you to continue to expand? And it was amazing because, and I'm so glad he met me as a potential investor first. He completely changed his pitch deck. And that made me realize that sometimes, coming back to your point on communication, sometimes the ideas are really good, but for whatever reason, they're just not able to communicate properly, either through slide decks or pitch decks or verbally. And it requires a little bit more effort on my side to see, does this actually have potential? It could be a cultural thing as well. There's some cultures that just, I mean, I know so many people that grew up in an environment of I say, you do, and they didn't have much of a voice. And so it's not surprising that when they come to you, they're speaking very little and have very little information to share, unless if you keep prodding them and asking them lots of questions.
Is there anything that we haven't mentioned that you feel you would be remiss to not say?
I mean, the one thing is whenever I make an investment, I make sure there's no attachment to the investment. I think that's really important. I just made an investment some months ago. Not some months ago. The initial investment was earlier, and then there was a top up, and it was $100,000 that just poof gone. Now I'm not attached to it. Yes, it hurts. It hurt that it's because you worked hard to get that kind of money, but it's gone. When I made this investment, there's a risk associated with it, and I have to be clear in my mind that whatever I put in, if it goes to zero, I should be okay with that. I won't like it, but it shouldn't affect my life in a way that I now have to struggle to make ends meet. And I find that a lot of people get caught up in, oh, I know this one who's investing and that one who's investing. Let me get on the bandwagon because I'm missing out on this opportunity. It's the whole FOMO thing. Oh, so many people are doing it. Why am I not doing it? And you hear about a couple of exits, and I'm like, listen, when they tell you about their exits, they're going to tell you all the good stuff. They don't talk about the bad stuff where they lost money. So obviously you think it's amazing because everyone's just saying, I made this and I made 10x and 5x and 4x and 20x and whatever it is. But have you heard about their failures? Let me share mine because I've lost money as well. Net net, it's been positive and I'm happy overall, but I've lost money in deals. And you have to be okay with that. So there cannot be an attachment to the outcome. You have to be okay with it becoming zero. And that should not change your lifestyle.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this insight, I've handpicked another video for you right here on the screen. For more actionable strategies that get you real results, hit subscribe.